What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha! How are you all doing today? The season is upon us. Yes, it is. It is here. The training camp's open today. Watched a little bit on the NHL Network. I wasn't able to watch the Blues. Their practice for me like 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. So a little bit rough for me. Sent you the link, Win. Hey, Jason. Craig Moss, how you doing, buddy? Zachara. And then there's Zachary or Jason and Zach are talking. Scary's here. I should be scared. Every time Scary's here, I get scared. I know Scary's got to be getting pissed at me somewhat, but I don't know. It is what it is, man. I'm doing this for me. I love talking about hockey. I love talking to people. I enjoy it. I wish that this was more, but you know what? It is what it is. It just, I'm coming to grips with that. I'm coming to terms that after 5 years, it's not going to happen. Right? It's not going to happen. I burned too many bridges for some reason. But that's just, it's who I am. I'm not going to change. So is what it is, right? And we just do what we can. John Penner, Craig Ma, Zachary, and Jason, thank you. Well, we'll bring him in. He's the man, he's the myth, and he's from that nasty, ugly, gross team up 300 miles north of St. Louis. It's Windy City Hockey. Hey, Nick, how are you doing, bud?
Doing all right. How are you?
Not bad. Did you guys start training camp today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah, you're on that delay again. Did you guys start training camp today?
Yeah, we did.
So the Bedard Hawks are now having training camp. I can't wait till someone plows into him.
You know how much of a prick you sound like when you say you want to see someone almost get injured?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to see him get injured. But I want to see. Did you see the pictures of him standing next to Crosby?
You know why why they did.
Uh-oh. You froze on
Bedard.
us.
Are you sure?
Yeah. For a second there, you froze. I heard you know why, and then you froze.
Well, Bedard's favorite player growing up was Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you know who who his NHL debut is against?
Yeah, Crosby. I know.
They
Right?
were
That was
doing
done on purpose.
promotional stuff for the season opener.
Yeah, I know. That was all done on purpose. It's all done on purpose. Um, but the picture? Did you notice the difference between him and Crosby? He's got to be a good 3 inches shorter than Crosby, if not more. I mean, he looked tiny next to Crosby. And
Bedard's
Crosby's not that big of a guy.
5'11".
Say again?
Crosby's in his here, I will tell you how tall Crosby is compared to Bedard.
I want to say Crosby's like my height, 6'1". And Crosby's probably about 210.
It says Crosby's 5'11".
Okay.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe, well,
I think he's taller than that.
yeah, not much though. But even at that, Bedard looked 2 to 3 inches shorter than him. So Bedard's listed at what, 5'10", right?
He's listed at 5'10", yes.
But in that picture, he definitely looks.
Which picture are you talking about?
I saw a picture of those two standing side by side, Crosby this way, Bedard this way, in their uniforms. Right? It's one of the promotional pictures. Crosby on the left, Bedard on the right. And they're kind of like cockeyed 45 degrees facing the camera.
Are you talking about this picture where they're sitting down?
No. This is a picture of them standing up. They're standing up.
I haven't seen any pictures of them standing up by each other. I've only seen them sitting down by each other.
No, I saw a picture of them standing up, and it looked like Bedard was a good 2 to 3 inches shorter than Crosby.
Yeah, this is another picture I found of them together. That's it. I've only found them sitting down.
I saw a promo picture of it. It was during the damn prospect game.
Why would it be during the prospect game?
They were talking about it and they showed it. They popped it up during the prospect game, during either the intermission or the pregame or the post. But they brought it up. I remember seeing that picture. Right? His size is going to be an issue. I really feel it.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. You can be small in the NHL to succeed now. You don't have to be big.
I think he's smaller than that. I think Bedard is much smaller than that.
I don't think so.
Right? I'm guessing Bedard is probably 5'9" and about 170.
Oh, he has to weigh more than that. Have you not seen a picture of him at the weight room?
No.
The kid's built like a tank.
Bob Bassett only 175. Yeah. Well, I mean, when I met Tony Twist when I met Tony Twist, it was after his motorcycle accident, so I think that might have something to do with it. But I towered over Tony Twist, right? I'm actually surprised at how many hockey players I'm taller than. Right? When they're on their skates, I guess you think they're giants, but they're really not as tall as you think they are. Right? Mike Zook, I tower over him. I'm a good 2 or 3 inches taller than him, and I'm not a super tall guy. I guess you could consider me a tall guy. I'm 6'1". Google concurs. I looked. You looked at what? Oh yeah. He's pure muscle. Best interview. I think he's probably one of the best interviews I always did. Right. Well, that's probably where Craig got that from, to what he's listed in the NHL. But I don't. How many times do they exaggerate those numbers? Those numbers are exaggerated all the time. Right? All the time. I rarely is someone as tall as they say they are, and they normally weigh more than they actually do. Right? So, I mean, it's just how I feel. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything at all. When do you guys play your first game?
Our first regular season game or
first preseason?
Preseason? Not until next Thursday.
Is that your first home one?
That's our first preseason game.
I could see you guys selling out a preseason game.
They already pretty much are.
Yeah. Chicago is going to go Bedard-listic.
If I remember correctly, they were selling the preseason tickets for $35.
Yeah. Is what I know. They try and hype these number one draft picks up all the time. And the last guy that I can think of that's been as hyped as much as Bedard is who? Who would you say is the last? McDavid. Right? And the guy after that was
probably Crosby.
Crosby, yeah. Right? I don't know, man. It's just, for me, when they hype a guy up like that, I don't know. It just it breeds negativity in me.
Okay.
Right. So I guess that's all I can say. So what's on your mind today, Wendy?
I'm just glad hockey is finally back.
I would second that. I would second that. I'm looking forward. Actually tomorrow night at, I want to get the time right, I think it's 6 p.m. my time, the NHL Network is going to show the Global Series down in Australia.
Yeah, 11:05 puck drop Central Time.
Yeah, and I'm 5 hours behind that. So that kind of gives you an idea of where it'll be for me. I look forward to it. I got friends that are in Australia. I haven't asked any of them, though, if they were going to the game. I think one is. I think Nate is going to the games. Nathan wants to know what sweater you're wearing, Wendy.
This is a Stan Mikita Stan Mikita throwback jersey.
Right. By the way, I do have one of those banners for the Blues.
Okay.
Right. I actually have like 4 or 5 of them. I bought them to give away, and I never did. I have one that's open. I just can't find it. So I was going through my pictures and found one, and then I found two of them that are still wrapped up. So I think I might have a few more. Let's talk. You know what? Let's get into the Central Division.
Okay.
Let's you and me break down the Central Division. We'll go from 8th to 1st.
Okay.
You okay doing that today?
I could come up with something on the top of my head, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull it out of the top of my ass, but we'll see. Okay, so let's start with Wendy's number 8.
It's going to be the Blackhawks.
And why do you think it'll be the Blackhawks?
Yes, they've improved from last year. They're going to have more points than what they had last year. Last year, they had 53 points on the season. I'm projecting around 68 to 70 points this year. The reason why, I think they're going to get more wins than what people are projecting them to, but they're still not there yet. They're still a bottom 5 team in the NHL.
I agree they're a bottom 5 team, but I think there's a team that's worse than them, and I think it's the Arizona Coyotes. I don't think the Coyotes have the front office and have the. I just don't think that team can win. I just don't. I know they got some players, but I just don't think they can win. I know they did well. I even said last year, remember at the beginning of the season, I said that playing in that small building was going to be good for them and that they would do well in that building.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, but they didn't do well outside of the building.
Yeah.
And I think that that's going to continue. I think that, and I also think that has guys have value. This team is going to get rid of that value.
Okay.
Right? I don't think that this team, I mean, when you're barely making the salary floor, when you're scraping the salary floor, and one of the ways that you're doing this is by getting guys on your roster that you don't have to pay, or that you have to pay but will never be on your roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have an issue with that.
Okay.
I really do have an issue with that. In fact, I have more of an issue with a team that does that than I do, and I think Buffalo did it last year. I think Buffalo had 3 or 4 guys on their roster, on their 23-man roster, two guys on their 20-man roster that never played. I think they were on IR. I don't think they put him on LTIR. They put him on IR.
I know what players you're talking about. Kyle Oposo, he did play. He did.
No, they traded for these guys. They traded for these guys.
Oh, are you? No, the players the Sabres put on LTIR were
no, not LTIR.
No,
IR.
the player. I'm saying the players they acquired in trades that were to bring them up to the cap were placed on LTIR. They were not placed on IR last year.
Well, putting them on LTIR means that it doesn't affect your cap. You get cap relief for that. In order for you to reach that floor, you have to put them on IR.
Okay.
The difference now there's 2 separate things. You have injured reserve and you have long-term injured reserve. Injured reserve gives you roster relief. Does not give you cap relief. So if you take player A, if I take Wendy and put Wendy in IR and Wendy makes $3 million a year, that $3 million still counts against my cap. But I can bring in a player as long as I stay under the cap to replace him on the roster and not waive Wendy or do anything like that. Right? LTIR is different. LTIR, you not only get roster relief, you get salary cap relief. And how you get salary cap relief is based on different things. It's based on when they go on LTIR. It's based on their daily cap hit, among any things. So I have more problems with teams that bring guys in and on IR that are going to be on IR, that you automatically know it, just to reach the floor.
Yeah.
I would rather them go out and overpay somebody that's actually going to play than do that. In fact, I think that
So you respect what the Hawks did?
Huh?
So you respect what the Hawks did then?
What did the Hawks do?
They just overpaid Corey Perry and Nick Foligno both getting $4 million this year to get over the cap floor.
Craig, I'm in Hawaii, so no, I didn't hear it. I would love to though, if hear what he said. I think if they play a lot better offense, it's going to help the defense. That's plain and simple in my eyes. No, I do respect that. I do respect that more than a team. If they would have just brought in guys and put them on IR, because that's screwing guys over.
Yeah, because right now the Coyotes have 3 players on IR that won't play. Shea Weber, Jacob Voracek, and Brian Little.
And those guys are on IR, not LTIR.
Correct. And
they're not expected to go on LTIR.
Yeah, they should be on LTIR.
But they're not expected to.
They are not going to be. Unless they do put Shea Weber on it. They could.
Not if it's going to take them under the floor.
It will not.
Okay. Then that's the only thing.
Because the Coyotes have $4 million in cap space. If they put Shea Weber on LTIR, it just frees up $7 million, and they will still be over the cap floor.
Okay, well then that makes sense, right?
And I believe if they still put Voracek on, then they will be under the cap floor because that's at $8.25 million. The Brian Little one they can put on LTIR with Shea Weber, and they will still be fine.
Yeah. So the one other thing that I would like to see the NHL fix. I understand LTIR. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely get it. I have no issue with the LTIR. It makes sense. I have issue with a team that takes a guy, has a guy, high-end guy that they know is going to need season-ending surgery or need surgery, but could be back for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather the NHL put in a minimum. So you have to be on the roster a certain amount in order to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Well, they count LTIR as being on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them not count LTIR as being on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see them say that you have to be on the regular roster, either IR, you can be IR, but you have to be on the roster a minimum number of games. Right? Now,
yeah.
You have seen teams do this before. After the trade deadline, sign and bring somebody in.
Yeah.
And then they get to play. I'd like to see that go away.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the rookies that finish college and come in right away and play in the playoffs. I'd like to see that go away.
Okay.
Right? Because you know what? There's something interesting that happens there. More or less, that kid that just signed that contract loses a year of his contract while playing in the playoffs and doesn't get paid for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sign a 4-year deal, that first year is that year, and you don't get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, actually, it may start later. The deal may start later, but you're not getting, this guy's playing and not getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get a little bit of money from the playoffs, but it's nowhere near what these guys. These guys don't make. I mean, they're not making $2-3 million from the playoffs.
Yeah.
For a 2-month playoff, which is what, a quarter of the season, they're only making a couple $100,000 if they win the cup. Right? And that's how I feel about it. Yes, I'm kind of referring to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, now, first of all, let me re-say this. Tampa Bay did not break the rules.
Yeah. There's teams to... And Tampa, I will quote what Tampa was even saying back in 2015. They kept saying the Hawks broke the rules, even though we did not. When Patrick Kane was placed on LTIR right before the trade deadline, he actually had surgery on his shoulder because someone broke his clavicle, and the Hawks were able to place him on LTIR, and his timetable was for the day one of the playoffs because that was the length of recovery. It was a recovery length.
That to me is
and
fine.
he was able to act. Yeah. But
Okay,
I
because
know
he
played
played a minimum number of games during the season.
Yeah, and I know what player you're referring to, and it's Kucherov. And now there's rumor. Well, they expect this one player to be able to return in Colorado, and that being Gabe Landeskog if the Avalanche make the playoffs.
And I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that, right? I would like to see the NHL maintain some semblance of a salary cap during the playoffs. Right? Now, I know the players don't get paid during the playoffs, and I get it. Right? But the players get played for a season. And the playoffs are part of the season in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm everyone does it. I'm not saying that it's what the system is set up for. I get it. I get it.
The way the Hawks did it. The way the Hawks did it was in 2015, and it was Patrick Kane. He broke his clavicle 1 week ahead of the trade deadline. He had his surgery, and his timetable was able to come back for round.
Wendy's frozen there. Wendy froze. But, I mean, I don't have an issue with that. My issue is with guys that go on LTIR at the very beginning of the season and don't play any games and then come back for the playoffs. You froze, Win. Be pull him out of here until he pops back, until I see him moving again. He may jump out and then jump back in. I think he'll realize he froze. That's all I'm saying on that. When it comes to that, is I'd like to see them fix that. There's a couple other things I want to see them fix. Man, we go off on a tangent here. Yeah, Wendy just left. I'll see if he pops back in here in a second. Then we'll go back on our top 8. Boy, did we take that. I like that. I think it should be 15 games minimum play. Right? And I also believe that you have to be on the roster. The roster for a minimum 15 games. Right? Hopefully he pops back. Let's see. Until he comes back, we won't go on with the central preview. We'll kind of do something else. There's a couple rules that I would love to see the NHL change. Right? Couple of rules I would love to see the NHL change. One of them comes into play 2 or 3 times every single year that gets talked about, but it actually happens pretty regularly. Right? It actually happens pretty regularly. I was talking. You know what? We'll hold off on the Central Division. Maybe we'll do that Monday.
Okay.
You good with that? We'll do our breakdown next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I want to talk about rule changes.
Okay.
Right? There's a rule change that I'd like to see the NHL do. That in all actuality, most people, it only really you hear about it 2 or 3 times a season, but it happens all the time. And this is a puck that hits a ref in play.
Okay.
Right? When a puck hits a ref in play, and this happens a lot more then you think the puck hits the ref, bounces out in front of the net. One of the other guy, somebody from the other team gets an empty puck, shoots it in the net, and scores.
Mhm.
Well, wouldn't you consider that directly off the referee? There was a situation, I will name two separate situations. One of them happened in the playoffs, one of them happened during the regular season. Our buddy Tim Peel was one of them. Bouwmeester, during a game in St. Louis against Florida, I think it was, the Panthers. Longo, he played for the Panthers, right?
Luongo played for the Panthers and Canucks, yeah.
Okay. He was with the Panthers. Bouwmeester fired the puck to clear it. It hit Peel in the cup and made a right turn directly for the crease.
Mhm.
Longo went to play the puck, misplayed it. It hit his glove, hit his post, hit his glove again, and then went in the net. They disallowed that. They disallowed that goal. Said it was directly off the referee. Okay. My problem is Longo played the puck.
Yeah.
That's no longer directly off the referee. If
Mhm.
Longo never touches the puck, it doesn't go in the net.
Mhm.
Now, here's another situation. This happened. This is what created the greatest playoff moment, the second greatest playoff moment in Blues history. Maybe third greatest, right? Or somewhere around there. It's early in Game 7. The Blues lead 1-0. The Blues have the puck in their zone. I think it was, oh man, I'm pretty sure it was Frenchie. I can't think of his name now. The guy's in Detroit now. Perron passes the puck. It hits the referee in the foot, goes straight out to a Dallas Star player who buries it.
Mhm.
To me, that's the exact same play. That's the same play between the Longo and this one. But this time, it counts. I don't get it. It shouldn't have counted. That's directly off the referee. And there's a simple change to the rule that makes that all go away.
Okay.
If the puck touches the referee, the next person to touch the puck cannot score.
Mhm.
Plain and simple. Puck hits the referee, comes to you, you can't score.
Yeah.
Now, I know you think that it doesn't happen all that often, but it actually does. It happens regularly that the referee influences the play by the puck touching him.
Mhm.
What do you think of that?
I can see where you're coming from.
I agree it's part of the playing surface, right? If it hits a door that doesn't fully close, it's a dead puck.
Yeah.
That's a dead puck. If it hits the camera cutout, it's a dead puck.
Mhm.
If it opens the cutout, right? If that cutout is open and it hits it, now the cutout should not be open during play.
Mhm.
During play, that camera cutout should absolutely be closed.
It should be, but it's opened all the time.
I thought it was closed during the play.
No.
I thought they had a little door there where they close it during play. They can open it and clean it off, but they've got to close it during play.
No, they can have it open when the play is not in the zone the cameraman's in. They can close it as soon as the play is now in that zone and the other camera is able to open it up on the other side of the rink.
Okay. But there's a lot of time. Oh, hell, if the puck hits the curved glass, that's a dead puck.
Yeah.
Right? The curved glass. Just the curved glass. If the puck hits that, that's a dead puck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the camera windows to me only matter if it's open. If it's closed, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it can take a different bounce because of, the camera having some give. That piece of plastic having a little bit of give. I get that. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The referee, see, that to me, there's enough rules that make the puck dead. I don't want it dead when it hits the referee. I'm okay with that. But I don't want the referee influencing the score of the game by the puck touching him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you make the simple rule, the next guy to touch it can't score. Right?
Yeah.
What's a rule that you want to change?
Honestly, probably the rule on if you're on a delay penalty, you score on it, and you should, in my opinion, you should still be able to keep your power play.
I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay.
I like that as a rule. The Champions Hockey League incorporated it this year. It's going to go into effect this coming. I believe the CHL plays like the Champions Hockey League plays in December, so we'll get to see that in action this year.
Hey Ryan, knowing where you live, the only games that you're going to get blacked out are games that are local to you, and that's only 6 games a season. You should be able to watch everything else on ESPN Plus or the national service. Right? You should be able to watch everything else on ESPN Plus. Right? Just those 6 games are the only ones that, and then I don't know if you have cable, but you'd have to watch those 6 games on the cable service.
Ryan, what I do is, since I live more southern Illinois side, I'm not saying where we're at, I'm able to get the games without them being blacked out for the Hawks. But when I was at my apartment, when I was living in Carbondale for school, yes, I'm a SIU Carbondale student. I will say that because I don't live there anymore. I was the fact that it was the viewing network for Chicago, and I wasn't able to watch the games otherwise, so I had to put my VPN on and be able to watch the games that way.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't have I've got to cancel my VPN because it didn't do me any good. I agree. I like this too. I agree with you, but it also should. But also, if it's a 2-minute penalty and they pull the goalie on a delayed penalty and score 30 seconds later, their polished play should only be 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I can agree with that.
I like that. I actually do like that. I've told you the other one that I think that they should incorporate to that is on a penalty shot.
Okay.
If the penalty shot is missed, they should go on a 1-minute power play.
I would also say there's another thing with the Champion Hockey League. What they're doing is, if you're shorthanded and you scored a shorthanded goal, the power play is over.
I'm not 100% sure I like that. I get it. It makes sense, but I'm not sure because you're double rewarding the team that committed the penalty.
Yeah, and not really. Well, yes and no. Here's the reason why. You're kind of double rewarding the team going to the power play if they score on a delay penalty, they still get a power play.
Okay.
The team on the shorthanded side, if they gave up a goal, delay a game, and then they're on the team's on the power play, you're going down the ice for a shorthanded time. You're actually it's a little bit more difficult on yourself, and you get a chance to go down the ice, get a shorthanded goal, which is harder to get than a power play goal. It kind of makes sense.
Okay. I think you're wrong on this one, Jason.
What's up?
Right? He says changes I would like to see: unintentional delay a game. If a player is trying to shoot it around and it rolls off the stick, it shouldn't result in a penalty. If a player deemed to do it intentionally, okay, that's only if it goes out of play.
Oh, the dog penalty.
And here's the thing with that. The problem with that is it's really hard to say when a player does it intentionally and unintentionally. And when you bring in judgment calls into it, you destroy a rule.
It messes it all up.
Right? And we have a prime example of that. The worst rule in the NHL is because of judgment. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
The offsides?
No. I got no issue with offsides. There's another rule in hockey that is absolutely a judgment call. There is nothing written about that says what this penalty is, and it's a complete judgment call, and you see it go both ways all the time.
Goalie interference.
A couple of guys were getting it.
I had a feeling it was either you were talking about goalie interference or the offsides, because now the way offside is, it's been kind of a judgment rule anyways when it comes to the review, and then with the goalie interference, it's also
with the foot in the air type thing.
Yeah,
I want to see that go back.
Yeah.
I want to see that go back. If the foot, the entire body needs to be over the blue line in order for it. I think the entire body needs to be over the blue line in order for it to be considered offsides. Right? I know that it makes a judgment call what the entire body is.
Yeah.
But they have a camera. That's the other thing they need to do. They need that blue line camera. They need that camera that sits right there on the blue line, one on each end, that catches that.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. On the goalie interference stuff, what do you want to see changed?
I want it defined.
I do too.
I want it defined. I don't care what they call it. I want it defined. One of my biggest problems is what's considered goalie in the crease. Because to me, goalie in the crease is if any part of the goalie's body is on the line, he's in the crease. Because that's the exact same way you interpret the offsides rule. If you interpret the offsides rule that way, then you have to interpret goalie in the crease that way.
Now, would you be open to seeing the trapezoid gone?
No, I want to see it reversed.
Wait, so you don't want to see the goalie play behind the net?
No, he can play it on the sides. He can't go behind the net and touch the puck. Where the trapezoid is now, that should be the area that you can't touch it. And the outside areas is where you can play it.
Okay.
Think about this. Think about how much now a goalie's really got to think before he goes out there to play that puck.
Yeah.
Right? That's not my rule. That's not me that came up with that. That's Darren Pang. That's Panger.
Okay.
Panger has said that on numerous occasions. He even said it on my podcast when I had him on the show.
Oh, okay.
Right? He even said it then, and I've heard him say it on broadcast.
Okay.
That he always thought when they brought the trapezoid in that the area behind the trapezoid is the area that you shouldn't be able to play it in.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, he does enjoy your comments there, Rob, and you are one of my biggest fans. I will
What's
admit
up?
that. Huh? That's
What
Bob.
was he saying?
It said, I'm this show's biggest fan. Even Wendy, a Blackhawks fan, enjoys my comments.
Okay.
The goalie has to be able to slow the puck on the shoot around behind the net. Also, what happens if the puck stops directly behind the net? You know what? Then he should have gotten it before then. He should have gotten it before then. Right? I'm sorry. If that puck stops behind the net, he better be ready. He better be ready. His guys better be ready. That's you talk about the forecheck. That's what the forecheck was made for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the absolute situation that the forecheck was designed for. A puck sitting right behind the net.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who was the first player to play behind the net? To really play behind the net, to make it their office.
Are you? I don't think it's Gretzky.
It is.
I know they
Prior to
call it.
Gretzky,
I know they
prior-
call it the Gretzky office, but
Yeah.
I believe there was one other player before him to do it.
not the way he did it.
Okay.
Right? They would go, you can go back and look at what happened in the number one moment in NHL history, the Bobby Orr one.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that kind of developed from behind the net. But what Gretzky used that to accentuate his division and do other things.
Yeah.
Pucks get shot high over the net all the time, and it comes back and hits the back of the bar and sits there. The whole reason they have no touching the icing is to eliminate the collisions. If the goalie has to wait until the players get to the puck, we're back to having collisions again. You know what? Then he can, if it's stuck on the net, he can use his stick and hit the back of the net and knock it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I make that an open area, man. Make that take that away from the goalie, and make it to where when you throw that puck down around, the goalie's got to make that decision whether he's going to go over to the side and play it, or let it fly around.
Mm-hmm.
I still think if the goalie comes out to play the puck, you should be able to hit him. He has the puck out of the crease. He is like any other player. I'm so on that. The difference is, there's a difference here, is the equipment that the goalie uses, limits his movement.
Mm-hmm.
A regular forward, a regular guy that has the puck, has the ability to change directions very quickly. A goalie does not.
The goalies
goalie
are
is
locked in their gear.
What?
The goalie is locked in their gear.
Yeah.
A skater is not. Yes, they're wearing gear, but they are not like fully locked in. The goalie pads, they're strapped around their legs, their skates. The blocker it's a loose glove. Same with the actual glove side that kind of locks around your hand.
Yeah. I'm not there. Oh, I get it, but I don't get it. I'm not there. The goalie has limitations, too many limitations to me.
Mm.
Right? And not only that, the guys, when you look at a goalie, when you look at a goalie in his gear, right? You think of these goalies as offensive linemen,
Mm-hmm.
right? They look like they're an offensive lineman. They're not. They're me. Okay? When you think about that, you take me and you make me the size of an offensive lineman. How can I defend myself?
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue there. They can't defend themselves, right?
Hey, guy, I'm going to have to get going.
No problem.
My Wi-Fi is not the greatest right now as there was a storm. That's why I had to switch over to my phone, and now my phone's almost dead.
No problem, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
take care.
I mean, it's a good discussion than stay in the net. But Craig, at the same time, you're telling him he can play the puck wherever he wants. You know, I don't know. It's just how I feel about it. No, you know what? That's not. You know what? But here's the thing. If you make it to where if he's out of the crease that you can hit him wherever, they're never coming out. They're not playing the puck. The exact same thing. That's the same thing as just removing the trapezoid completely. That's the exact same thing. Because if I'm a goalie, I'm never going back there. Because guys are going to, shit, look what happened to Grant Fuhr. And he was in the damn crease. Right? I agree. See, that's where I'm at. I mean, it's a good point. You know, that's you say the goalie should pay the puck wherever he wants. He should be subject to incidental contact. Again, now you're trying to decide what incidental contact is. Now you're making goaltender interference even worse. Not just full body checks. Well, what's an incidental check? What's incidental? Right? What's incidental? I go in there and he falls down. Is that a full body check? How do you see? That's the thing. That's where I'm at on that. I don't think so, Wendy. Or E, I think goalies will not come out. Again, Jason, that's subjective. You know, you're adding even more subjective to goaltender interference. We can't stand a goaltender interference rule now, and you're talking about increasing it. That's why. I mean, I get what you're saying. You're welcome. Man, that is okay, absolutely fine. But it's just how I see it, bud. Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of guys. I knew, I've had someone say that. Oh man, I can't believe that goalies. There's pictures out there of guys, looking like Frankenstein. It will take years before it happens. It will take a couple of years. The coaches will tell goalies just leave the puck alone. Don't ever leave the crease. And that's the thing. You tell goalies, you make that the rule to where the goalie is now fair game. You talk about goals getting scored on them. GAAs will rise to almost 4 per game. Goalies being able to go and play the puck and help get it out of the zone helps them a lot. Oh, I want it defined too. I believe that. I absolutely believe that too. Yeah, don't listen. Go out there, play a puck, get hit and get hurt, or go out there, play a puck, lose it, and has cost a goal. You ain't playing anymore. You ain't playing anymore. I mean, who was it? I think it was it Husso that did that during the playoffs? And I know Jake Allen did it once. Everybody got on Jake Allen there. Right? Everybody got on Jake Allen. I remember that. I just want to see goaltender interference have an actual definition. All right? And I want to see that what the crease is, what goaltender in the crease means defined. For me, if any part of the goaltender is in the crease, he is in the crease. It is no different than the blue line. No different. I like that. The maybe I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Just my opinion, guys. Wow, 11 likes today on a slow show. Ryan Green, Harrison Krieger, Jason Langford, Maddie Park, Iguido, Tammy Pemberton. I didn't see any Tammy comments today. Nathan Moyers. Yep, I see Nathan. John Penner. Let's see. Craig Moz. Jason Nichols. I think I got everybody. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Thank you so much. Well, guys, coming right up on the hour. I'm kind of done. See you tomorrow, I guess. So, hey, guys, have a great one. I'll talk to you later. Bye now. 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 Now. Hey, now, brown cow.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!